Good morning, happy Friday. This is another report from the book. Yes, it is not backwards, but that's okay. I'm about 1/3 into the book, and I'm going to tell you again, not what's in the book, but what's in me because I'm reading the book. And here talks a lot about the brain and the way we think and the way we feel and the way we act, which is really practical information. And one of the things that I think more about from reading his book is what I understand about what's happening here. I'm going to give an example of how the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and our actions, our physicality works. Excuse me. Now, you may have heard of a term called the mind-body connection, right? The mind-body connection. We've all heard that. Well, the word connection implies that they are two different things, like two sides of a street that needs a bridge. Well, I'm going to point out to you they're really all the same thing, an autonomous, instantaneous experience. I'm going to paint now a picture for you that I hope you don't mind because it's quite tragic. Don't take it personally. This has happened to more people than I can count, so hopefully it never happened to you, and I apologize in advance if it has, and if it I don't want it to happen to anyone. I'm making a point. I'm just making a point. If you have a child going off to college one night and he or she drives off down the road and you wish him well, call us when you get there, text, we'll follow you, whatever. And it gets later and later and later, and it's dark, and you see flashing red lights in the distance and hear sirens. At that moment, your conscious mind, which the brain is an organ, the mind is who we are. The mind identifies flashing red lights. That means emergency, tragedy, police, right? And sirens, which again, through that sense, says this is danger, this is tragedy, oh no, what's happening? It happens so quickly, and you will feel it in your body immediately. The decision that this is something kind of negative, the conscious mind, instantly in the subconscious mind, it feels like a tragedy. I hope no one's in trouble. And physically, you will feel that sensation in your body immediately. It might be boom, 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 but it's more like boom or boom. Now, the lights get brighter, the sirens get louder, they're coming up your street. All that you've experienced so far is intensified, and it comes up your driveway and it peaks. The rush of adrenaline in the body because the mind has said, this bad thing is related to me. You're personalizing up here. Emotionally, it feels much, much worse, and your body starts to weaken as it, Two policemen get out, a man and a woman usually at this point. They come to the front door and they say, can we come inside? You're frozen mentally, emotionally, physically. And they say, sit down, please. Because they understand when they tell you what happened to your son or daughter on the highway, you will probably faint and collapse. Because the mind has said, this is the worst thing of all. This threatens the whole idea of life. Boom, boom, boom. Emotionally, it's the worst sorrow I've ever felt in my life. I'm overcome by it. It drains the blood from parts of your body. Your body weakens and you collapse to the ground. Instantly, just like zoom. All these things happen quickly for a very important reason. Our autonomous system that keeps us alive, that tells us to stop before we step in front of the train, before we fall off a cliff, before we fall down the stairs, before we cut in front of a speeding bus. Those things that we should thank our autonomic system for keeping us alive. But in the book, he talks about, I'm not going to tell you what he says exactly, but what he says is so useful and so, in his way, fun and human. I mean, you get kind of inside his own fascinating brain too. But this book is a build-up process, standing on the outside, looking further out. What does that really mean? It's our position of where we really exist in society, in media, and now inside ourselves. Get this book, read this book. It's like all his books, it's about the same size. You could do it in a long day on a bus, a train, or in your comfy corner with some tea, or in his case with a bottle of wine. This is really another one of his fantastic books. It blends science and psychology and a simple human being who grew up during the early punk years of the UK. Yeah, it says on the back here, the future rarely arrives in tune. This book arrives intentionally out of tune, its frequencies scraped against the grain so that the static itself becomes a signal. Yes, when boredom is a thing we don't want, it becomes a signal. All these spaces in the process of how our conscious, subconscious, and physicality react and respond to things, it's fascinating. So this is a report from the book, 5 minutes and 40 something seconds. That's enough for today. We'll talk again soon. Get this book.